On May 10, 1857, the long-simmering tensions finally exploded at Meerut. Earlier, several Indian soldiers had refused to use the controversial cartridges and were punished by British authorities. Their imprisonment angered fellow sepoys, who revolted against their officers and freed the imprisoned soldiers. The rebels then marched from Meerut to Delhi, covering a significant distance in a short period of time. Upon reaching Delhi, they received support from local soldiers and civilians. The rebels proclaimed Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor, as the Emperor of India. Although he was elderly and possessed little real power, he became a powerful symbol of unity and resistance against British rule. From Delhi, the revolt rapidly spread across northern and central India. Major centers such as Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, Bihar, and several other regions joined the uprising. What had begun as a military rebellion soon transformed into a broader struggle involving rulers, soldiers, peasants, landlords, and ordinary citizens. The revolt of 1857 was led by several remarkable personalities who played crucial roles in different regions of India. Bahadur Shah Zafar, Delhi. Bahadur Shah Zafar was the last Mughal emperor and became the symbolic leader of the revolt. Although he was over 80 years old and lacked military power, his name united many rebels under a common cause. His leadership gave legitimacy and direction to the uprising. Rani Lakshmibai, Jhansi. Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi emerged as one of the bravest leaders of the revolt. After the British annexed Jhansi under the doctrine of lapse, she became a fierce opponent of British rule. She led her forces courageously in battle and became a lasting symbol of patriotism, courage, and sacrifice. Nana Sahib, Kanpur. Nana Sahib was a prominent leader in Kanpur. He was deeply dissatisfied with the British decision to deny him the pension that had been granted to his adoptive father. During the revolt, he became one of the leading figures challenging British authority in northern India. Tatya Tope, Central India. Tatya Tope was one of the most skilled military commanders of the revolt. A close associate of Nana Sahib, he displayed exceptional leadership and guerrilla warfare tactics. Even after many rebel forces were defeated, he continued resisting the British for an extended period. Kunwar Singh, Bihar. Despite being nearly 80 years old, Kunwar Singh became one of the most respected leaders of the rebellion in Bihar. His determination, courage, and military leadership inspired thousands of rebels to continue fighting against British rule. Begum Hazrat Mahal, Lucknow. Begum Hazrat Mahal played a significant role in leading resistance in Lucknow after the annexation of Awadh. She opposed British rule and organized support among local leaders and soldiers. Her leadership demonstrated the important role played by women during the revolt. Together, these leaders transformed the revolt of 1857 into a widespread movement that challenged British authority across large parts of India. Despite its bravery and widespread impact, the revolt of 1857 ultimately failed to remove British rule from India. There were several important reasons behind this failure. The first major reason was the lack of unified leadership. Although many leaders participated in the revolt, there was no single central authority to coordinate the movement across India. Different leaders fought in different regions with their own objectives and strategies. Bahadur Shah Zafar was declared the Emperor of India and became the symbolic leader of the revolt. However, due to his advanced age and limited resources, he could not provide strong military or political leadership to unite all the rebel forces under a single command. Another reason was the limited geographical spread of the revolt. The uprising was concentrated mainly in northern and central India. Regions such as Hyderabad, Mysore, and most parts of southern India did not actively participate in the rebellion. As a result, the movement failed to become a truly nationwide struggle. The rebels also faced the challenge of superior British military strength and technology. The British Empire possessed better weapons, better communication systems, and a highly organized army. Since Britain controlled a vast global empire, it was able to bring additional soldiers and resources from other parts of the world to suppress the revolt. Internal divisions among Indians also weakened the movement. Differences based on religion, caste, regional identities, and local interests prevented complete unity among the rebels. The British took advantage of these divisions and strengthened their control by encouraging rivalries among different groups. In the years that followed, the British increasingly used a strategy that became known as the divide and rule policy, which aimed to prevent Indians from uniting against colonial rule. Thus, despite the courage and sacrifices of thousands of Indians, the revolt was eventually crushed by the British by 1858. Although the revolt failed militarily, it produced major changes in the administration of India. The most important result was the end of the East India Company's rule. The British government realized that a private trading company could no longer govern such a vast country. Therefore, the British Parliament passed the Government of India Act, 1858, which transferred the administration of India directly to the British Crown. As a result, India officially came under the rule of the British monarch. The office of the Governor-General continued, but the Governor-General now also served as the Viceroy, representing the British Crown in India. The British also reorganized the army after the revolt. The proportion of European soldiers was increased compared to Indian soldiers in order to reduce the possibility of future military uprisings. Greater control was maintained over Indian troops, and important military positions continued to remain in British hands. Another significant change was in British policy toward Indian society. The British became more cautious about interfering in local customs, traditions, and religious practices. They publicly promised to respect the traditions and beliefs of Indian communities in order to avoid provoking another large-scale rebellion. At the same time, however, they strengthened their administrative control and worked to maintain a firm grip over India. The First War of Indian Independence was a landmark event in the history of India. It was the first large-scale attempt by Indians to challenge British rule and fight for freedom. Although the revolt did not succeed in driving the British out of India, it awakened a spirit of nationalism and resistance that would continue to grow in the decades that followed. The sacrifices made by Bahadur Shah Zafar, Rani Lakshmibai, Nana Sahib, Tatya Tope, Kunwar Singh, Begum Hazrat Mahal, and thousands of ordinary Indians inspired future generations of freedom fighters. The revolt of 1857 proved that Indians were willing to unite and fight against foreign rule. While it did not achieve independence immediately, it laid the foundation for the long freedom struggle that ultimately led to India's independence in 1947. The flames that rose in Meerut on May 10, 1857 may have been extinguished by the British, but the spirit of freedom they ignited could never be defeated.